What's up, guys? Welcome back to Comics and Tortillas. We have another review of a book I picked up this week. Marvel Age, humongous Treasury. This thing is beautiful. It's bigger than a omnibus, and this thing is just it's just a treat to read these kind of stories in this kind of format. And I'm just gonna go over, just the material, the spine and the back, and what's going on inside the book. So we got a bunch of different stories here about different characters put into this big Treasury edition. I feel like there's a way of, when you read this, it just feels like a different experience. It feels more fun. There's just so much really cool stuff happening here. We have a bunch of stories about Spider-Man. We got Silver Surfer. We got a Human Torch story. Captain Marvel, the male one, an X-Men story, a Daredevil story, and a Thor story. So there's a bunch of stories in this book, and at the end of the half of the book, it's all about Spider-Man. There's like, I think maybe like 5 or 6 stories about him at the very end. So let's go into how this feels. The material doesn't feel cheap. It feels nice. It's a very thick cardboard here. The spine is nice. It doesn't crease very much. I can't even get the whole damn thing in the picture here. Again, we got the Marvel Age here. Maybe go down a little bit farther. Again, I don't know. Maybe I complained about this with my other video with New Avengers, but maybe down to here would have been pretty sick. You got Spider-Man here at the bottom all by himself, thinking about how he's going to pay his rent. You got the Marvel up top. You can see the back here, just kind of tells you what's happening. Got some people saying how great the book is. That's going to cost you about $35. Again, you could probably get this cheaper somewhere else. I usually go to instocktrades.com. I go to Barnes & Noble because I get a percentage off, or I go to my local comic book store. Sometimes my guy, he has 30% off whatever comes out that week, but he was out of this, so I had to go buy it at Barnes & Noble. Just telling you what's happening in the story here. Going back to the front and just opening this thing. Like, I was reading this in my car and people thought I don't know, people look at me funny. Like, the thing is humongous. The thing is huge, right? It looks like one of those things where like you're getting a suntan where you put it in front of your face and then the sun hits you in the face. Kind of feels like that. We got the Marvel Age. We got a bunch of writers here. We got Mark Waid. We got Ryan Stegman writes a story in here. Rainbow here. Dan Slott. Jason Aaron's story. A bunch of guys here. Really fun. It just the color, the paper is nice, very glossy. Everything looks better when it's bigger. Yeah, I said that. Anyways. This is going to be a Human Torch story. Again, just opening it up and reading it, it's just, I can't read like really small print, so these things are just awesome for me, right? I'm just going to go flip through these pages so you guys can look at it, talking about some of the stories here. This Human Torch story wasn't as good, and I probably wouldn't have put this in the very front of the book. Maybe put this towards the back. You want the first story you read to be one of the best stories, right? And this was not it. We got Spider-Man here. He's going to be fighting the Lizard. And there's like the running joke that he's always late. I mean, why does Spider-Man have to be such a loser? But I guess he wouldn't be Spider-Man, right? If he wasn't late or he had no money and he's job to job. And I don't know. But he has a Lizard here and he's trying to get on time for dinner. Thought that was fun. What else we have here? We have a Jean and Scott story here. Very young. Scott's trying to get some from Jean, and I was talking earlier, like, that would be kind of hard, right? If she could read your mind, you can't really get away with anything, right? You can't get rid of anything. Like, she knows what you're doing. So I mean, that's pretty difficult. But we already know these guys hook up, have kids. But it's kind of fun to read this one where it's just young love. He's really working hard to get her attention and stuff. So it was okay. This story was okay. I liked it though. The art though is kind of soft, but it's okay. What else we got here? We have a Captain Marvel story. I didn't really like this one. It was okay. I do like the art though. Look at this old school. Reminds me of the old school, like when it first came out, Fantastic Four. We got Spider-Man. This is some really good art here. I like how they can still draw like this now and have a writer that's not like, you know, back then. So pretty cool stuff here. What else we got here? We got a Daredevil story. This one was pretty fun. This was interesting. I probably would have put this one in the very front. Kind of violent. You got Silver Surfer here. Mephisto trying to tempt him here a little bit. Look at these giant panels here. Look at this panel here. When you get a book this big, it just looks, everything looks great. Like you don't lose anything. Even look at the gutter here too. There's no gutter lost, not that much. You know, I like this. You know, the problem with omnibuses is that you lose a lot, especially DC, and that's a whole other story. I'll go into that some other time in another video. But great stuff here. We have another story here. This is done by Jason Aaron. This one's pretty cool. She hates mutants, and this is a Thor story. So this is going to be our Jane story. Good stuff. And I think, this one was my favorite one. I'm not going to spoil this one, but I got this towards the end of the book, and I'm like, I get it. I know who these guys are. So very cool here. I thought this was a fun one. The way to end it was great. We go into some of this right here, and then we go into some Spider-Man. Yeah, so then here's a bunch of stories. We got Dan Slott. We have Rainbow here. We have Hickman wrote a story in here, a name here that we can't say anymore. And Ryan Stegman. So a bunch of small Spider-Man stories. Art's awesome. This is probably one of my favorite stories. This guy, real quickly, he likes it when there's like the superheroes are out, because when they go fight somewhere, he can go steal stuff. And Spider-Man's been dealing with this guy for like this guy's whole life, right? So this was a funny story. I enjoyed this one. But that's pretty much the whole story. You get towards the end of the book. You don't lose too much stuff on covers here. You got a pretty much a full all the way to the end book here. We're going to go ahead and get all the pictures of different covers, and it's not that many, and I like that because you don't lose that much, right? You got a bunch of original art here and stuff like that. So fun stuff. Should you buy it? I think you should. I don't know what the hell that is. That's probably for you don't steal it. Go out and buy it. I think you guys should buy this. This is a fun book. Leave a comment below if you enjoy these size books. I know they have a bunch of Star Wars ones, black and red and white. They have a Wolverine one that's pretty cool, Deadpool one. But anyhow, I'll catch you guys. Hit that like, hit that sub, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.